It's been a cool experience, and to get it here on the water, the fact that we've worked so hard and now we know that it's efficient. So the more efficient it is, the slower we can go. So I'm able to go super slow and navigate around here in a circle and keep the plane. But yeah, originally it had to hit the water wide open and you could only go wide open. But now I can cruise around in third gear and when it opens it up, it's a beast. It can do over 100 kilometers an hour. So it'd be good to do that, but have to get a permit one day and cross this bay and under the bridge one, maybe get right over to Manly for a coffee.
This thing's been in evolution 5 years. A lot of people don't realise that. It's been in your mind since you're a kid. But just take us through quickly, like that first thing that everyone in the sort of world saw over in Tahiti, a few years ago for the first pipe dream, to the which was kind of a little bit of bush mechanics, a few bent bolts and a few bodged bits and pieces compared to what we're looking at today.
Yeah, like the first edition was just like straight out of a garage, but we did that on purpose because we weren't sure with the design and we were trying to figure it out until once we got it performing right, then we're going to spend the time to make it good, and it never really got there. And then the opportunity to work with DC and go to Tahiti came about, and it was just at the point where all I could do was, I knew that if I got lined up and got on the water, I'd be able to ride a wave. And so that was the goal. So we edited that thing a lot to make it look like I rode all around the ocean, but it seemed like it could perform like this one does, and literally I could get on this right now and I could ride until I ran out of fuel. So it's come a long way. It's very efficient. We've had to work with intake and the dynamics of it, and suspension, believe it or not, plays a huge role. But we've gone to the 450. We have an air bottle underneath. This here's the airbag. So we got the old shit lever here. If I pull that up, it rapidly expands these in about 30 seconds, and that's off an outboard boat engine. I bought it from the boat shop. But yeah, it's just a pull start, but sometimes you just got to make it happen. And I'm a Sparky, so I threw a few cable ties on there, but it works good. Yeah, so one of the hardest things was it was sucking water, and what we did, we sealed up the airbox, but when we sealed up, it just made it suck harder. So when we sealed up, it was just sucking all the mist, and it actually got the intake wetter when we sealed up the airbox than when we just left it stock. So we were like, it makes sense once you think about it, but you have to make the mistake to realise. And then I actually called my dad and was talking to him. He said, why don't you pressurise the airbox and just force feed it? And we stuck some ugly big intakes off here with you would have loved it. It had funnels in the end to kind of catch the air, and it went down here, had 9-degree elbows that turned into the airbox. And as soon as we did that, it just ran awesome. But I didn't want to get photos or videos of that just because it looked ugly. So then we came up with the idea to mount a fan in the airbox, and once we put the fan on there, it's on a little switch here. I can fire it up when I run, and it seems to keep it dry, but we had to play around with how the engine drains, because obviously we don't want oil going in the water into the ocean or the lakes, whatever, when it goes down. So it's fully sealed, but hardest bit is keeping the water out of it. But yeah, when it goes under, water just goes into it, and nothing comes out. But it's come a long way, and it's tricky, but it's all soon to evolve to a whole new level and capabilities. So this is kind of this concept, and all this work has given me the vision of where it's about to go. I'm excited to get there.
Been interesting because after with you taking this thing into the surf, you got a bit of heat. I know Stab Magazine sort of threw a few barbs at you, but then on the other side of the coin, you've had a bunch of your mates, pro surfers, who really backed what you're doing, and just pushing the envelope with something completely different in the waves.
Yeah, I think obviously guys at Stab, they're just known for having their point of view and just being kind of whatever, stirring the pot. But for the guys out there that are actually looking from the outside and can see the hard work and dedication that's gone into this, I mean, it's the way of the world. There's boats all over the ocean, jet skis are available, so why not make a motorcycle that can ride on the water? The closest thing to riding a motorcycle and having that experience on the water is a stand-up ski, but it's a totally different technique, and it's something you have to learn. It's a different feel, and I want to have something that, because there's so many people in the world that ride motorcycles, I want something that they can get on the water and it's exactly the same as riding a motorcycle. So that's my goal. We're very close. I've got the partners. We're going to make it happen. And to the guys at Stab, they're just going to have to sit there and see it happen in front of their eyes, because the guys like Mick Fanning, Julian Wilson, Ian Walsh, Sonny Garcia, all these guys are my friends, and they all want to be a part of it, and they know where it's going, and it's going to be sick. One day I'm going to get barreled on my dirt bike. Obviously I don't want to become a nuisance in the water too. I think these things will have, the same kind of restrictions as PWCs, where you won't be able to come in a certain range of swimmers, and so it'll keep people away from surf breaks. But I think there's somewhere that this thing could work well. And it'll be a lot of fun just riding it in the open ocean. You got a foot of suspension. The rough seas will be cool. It'll be like a motocross track, and I think that there'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a different way of commuting, and I think it could be, something just different for the water, and move into the future and see something evolve. I think it'll be a cool experience. So essentially it's been done. The wet bike was around a long time ago. I think the first one was designed in the 70s or something, but they may have just been a little bit before their time. And I saw those things, I was like, oh wow, and originally I was like, I don't want to go in that direction, but now that this is where it's at, that direction is where I want to go to. So it showed us a slice of where it's headed, but this thing will be much different to one of those, and we'll have different capabilities, and obviously technology's evolved a long way, so we have better ingredients for this recipe. So I think it'll be a better finished product. This thing's going to be, the way I envision it, it's going to be awesome, and people that ride motorcycles will be able to hop on it. It'll be the same experience and be a lot of fun.
And mate, last up, you grew up south of Sydney, but to bring something's been a dream of yours actually into Sydney Harbour, that must be a kind of pinch yourself moment as well, huh?
It has been. It's been surreal, to be honest. We got here late last night, and I saw the venue. I knew it. I looked at it on Google Earth, and I measured it to 500 feet from the bridge over here, and it's about 300 on this other end. But I knew it'd be tight, and we actually went out and replicated it in Mission Bay, and I knew that I could make the tight turn. So I knew it could happen, but when I got here and realised the boats, I measured from bank to bank, and when you look at this pontoon, you actually lose 100 feet. So these big boats here is actually tighter than I envisioned. So I was nervous, but I'm always nervous and scared. I never try to get too ahead of myself before I do something. So I always just try and, at the end of the day, it's not that life-threatening, but it went successful, so I'm stoked, and it's just good to be back in Sydney and bring something cool to the Sydney Motorcycle Show.
Mate, great to see you here. Congratulations. Well done this morning. I think the live TV went ballistic. My phone was going off, mate. And enjoy the weekend here, hey?
Thanks, Andy. Pumped to be part of it.